Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Greetings to you all, my Biafran brothers and sisters. Greetings to you all, the Nigerian country. Greetings to Africa and greetings to world at large. I don't arrive again, I don't like the Land Rover. I mean, they bring on now this very, very important news where all of us are supposed to know say it is very, very important. So I beg, anywhere where you do, care, make you gather here because today on Sunday. So no come they give me excuse say, I know they watch your program, I never watch your content because I dey busy at work. Today na the day of glorification. So make on gather here once again. Let us do what? Let us bring to the news to our doorsteps because this one today is going to be fire for fire. The British is about to take over our land again. The same thing that happened a couple of years ago, how they conquered and they deceived our aged parents who knows nothing into agreeing to amalgamation that never helped the Southeasterners. Now they are back again through Ohanaeze and Enslave, Ohanaeze and Ohanaeze and Iberibe. Anyway, make on just hear them from the horse's mouth. Make it not be said, I need to talk too much. Make on hear this headline. I'll be right back. IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra, opposes British Greek gift with Ohanaeze Ndori. This one is not Ohanaeze Ndigbo. They can never and will never be Ohanaeze Ndigbo. They are nothing but Ohanaeze Ndori and Ohanaeze Ndeflefu. So make gonna hear the news in details. What happened? Maybe they have forgotten so quick the role that the UK or the so-called UK played during the genocidal war against the Biafrans. They are the ones that stopped giving Biafrans food that make us to lose over 6 million inhabitants of Biafra land, including women and children, out of starvation. That is the same UK again that want to come to show interest in our land. And Ohanaeze Iberibe, Ohanaeze Ndori will not know that these people, Muammar Gaddafi said it, and also Mugabe, Roberto Mugabe also said it, that when white man say they love you, my dear, they didn't love you, they love the results that come from your land. If you don't have anything they can benefit for, they can never come out and tell you, I love you. This one where Brigade don't they jump up and down. He want to help Nigeria into the health sector. My dear, be rest assured that Nigerian population is about to reduce soon. But my prayer is that it will never affect any Biafran. Let it be between them and their Zeus country, and their Zeus government, and their Fulani cabals. Anyway, my wonderful people, we don't want to take much of our time as we are about to go straight to the reason why we are here this Sunday morning. IPOB press release. As you hear, this one is also published on IPOB Daily Post. If you have the opportunity, you can as well go there and read this article. It is very, very important and it is very, very necessary. Let us go straight to the reason why we are here. After considering possible outcomes of the recent meeting between the British High Commissioner and the leadership of the Ohanaeze Ndori worldwide, held in Enugu and led by Chief Emmanuel Iwanyanwu Onyoshi, against the backdrop of our history with the British government in Nigeria. We, the global movement and family of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, ably led by Ohamadike, one of Igbo land, Mazi Nnamdi Okwuchukwu Kanu, reject in its entity any partnership in business between the British government and the Ndigbo of any tribe. It is obvious that the British government considered Ndigbo and all Biafran to be stupid, ignorant, and gullible to have forgotten our history so quickly. Anyway, let's not go into history. Let us not forget, say, you understand me? Then let us face this recent times. Martin Nnamdi Kanu was being abducted in Kenya and extraordinary rendition back to Nigeria under torture like a common criminal. Somebody who traveled from UK to Kenya with a British passport. So does it mean that Dr. Richard Montgomery is not aware that Martin Nnamdi Kanu have been in custody of the DSS for over 2 years and now? A British citizen for that matter. You see that, okay, it doesn't matter to you. The Biafra revelation doesn't matter to you. What matters to you is for you to come to liaise with our so-called never do well Ohanaeze Ndigbo, to come as I found the resource of the Southeast, or more possibly case them the way you people case them in 1914. Is that exactly what you are trying to do? What business bilateral will you be signing with Ohanaeze Ndigbo, whereby a prominent son of the Biafra land, where you want to have the business with, the people you want to do business with, their son, who have been at the forefront fighting for the liberation of their own people, is in the custody of the DSS, and the UK citizen with the UK holder passport the same time. You see me don't say it, then you think that you have the interest of our people at heart by Ambassador Nnamdi Kanu as a high commissioner to Nigeria. Dr. Richard Montgomery, be warned, because to be forearmed is to be forewarned. This is not a threat. I'm just stating the obvious, because this is the things that your country or your so-called country, if they have the interest of the Biafrans at heart, that must be their number one phase of assignment in anything they want to do with the Biafrans. We particularly cannot imagine their hypocrisy in the continuous illegal detention of Nnamdi Kanu and his extraordinary rendition from Kenya to Nigeria that is being swept under the rug, while the British government pretends that all is well. We are here to declare to them and the rest of the world that all is not well at all. The British High Commissioner, Dr. Richard Montgomery, recently visited Ohanaeze Ndigbo worldwide, promising to partner with Ndigbo in business and development. Meanwhile, the British High Commissioner has not made any notable effort for the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu, even ordinary visit. A Biafran and a British citizen who is illegally detained in violation of Nigerian court orders in the worst place in the world. The Nigeria DSS dungeon in solitary confinement. When has the Nigerian government, who is a baby to Britain, became powerful as to override the influence of Britain in the case of a British citizen? Of course, that is the truth. Nnamdi Kanu, does Britain think that Ndigbo are stupid and gullible to trade our freedom and that of Nnamdi Kanu with this British Greek gift? If I may ask, the person that imprisoned Nnamdi Kanu, the person that got him arrested, both 2015, and the person that abducted him from Kenya, is now relaxing in his house in UK. And UK government did not say anything. Buhari is right in UK, doing that, is relaxing. That he ran from Katsina, Daura, to UK because he want to have a quiet time. And even that since he be there, nobody is visiting him or whatever. And Nnamdi Kanu is in prison, languishing, a British citizen. Hey! And the Ohanaeze Ndigbo have the guts to entertain the so-called Montgomery. Anyway, he don't know what awaits them. Therefore, IPOB and the entire Biafra nation reject any partnership with the British government to her affiliates under Nnamdi Kanu is released and Biafra is restored as an independent sovereign nation. Recall that Britain from the pre-colonial era till now has never had the interest of Ndigbo in mind. Britain fraudulently amalgamated Biafra with other unwilling nations for their own administrative and economic convenience and benefit. Britain enslaved our people and has continued looting our resources to date. They deceitfully and dubiously structured Nigeria to strangulate Biafrans, enterprising spirits while favoring the corrupt and the indolent Fulani tribe. The Britain was the one that advised General Yakubu Gowon, the then military head of state, to reject the Abure Accord, which led to the 1967 to 1970 brutal genocidal war against Biafrans, when more than 4 million unarmed civilian Biafrans were massacred. During that unfortunate genocidal war, Britain supplied Nigeria arms and logistics to wipe out Biafrans, particularly Ndigbo. Out of the surface of the earth, Britain and Nigeria have never apologized for the genocide against Biafrans, nor have they initiated any policy of inclusion for the Ndigbo. Instead, the Jew have continued with their policy of political and economic exclusion and marginalization against Biafrans. One will ask, why is Britain showing interest in Ndigbo at this perilous time in the political history of Nigeria? Biafrans have consoled ourselves and have decided to confront the decades of colonization impacts such as ethnic rivalries, economic and human rights violations that colonization and amalgamation brought to us. We have decided to remove the yoke of colonization and slavery called Nigeria and to return to our homogeneous state before the fraudulent amalgamation was forced upon us. We have resolved to pursue our own political future through legal and peaceful self-determination as championed by IPOB under the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If the British government is sincere in their quest for partnership with Igbo, the following demands should be met. Number 1 in the list. They should ensure the unconditional and prompt release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by using their age in diplomatic relationship with Nigeria. Number 2. Biafrans need British diplomatic support for the restoration of the independent and sovereign state of Biafra through a United Nations supervised referendum. As much as Igbo is not opposed to foreign partnerships, the most important partnership that Igbo need at this time are Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's unconditional release and a referendum as enshrined in the United Nations Charter for Human Rights. Anything short of the above-mentioned partnership engagement is dead on arrival. Biafrans, particularly Igbo, are more than capable of developing our own land when we became free from the British amalgamation yoke. We want British or Britain to know that Igbo are not happy in Nigeria, and to prevent another civil war, they should allow Biafrans to leave Nigeria peacefully. If Britain can exit peacefully from the Europe Union, why is Britain forcing Nigerians to remain in a bloody and irreconcilable union? What is good for the goose is also good for the gander. Pertinent questions for the British High Commission in Nigeria are: number 1, Dr. Richard Montgomery. These are questions you need to answer. From number 1 of it, are you aware that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a Biafran and British citizen, traveled to Kenya with his British passport? That's number 1. Number 2, these are questions for Dr. Montgomery to answer if he truly have the desires of the Igbos at heart. Number 2, are you aware that he was kidnapped, tortured, and renditioned to Nigeria like a common criminal for having different political opinions? Number 3, are you aware that 2 courts of competent jurisdictions have discharged and acquitted him, yet he is still being held by the Nigerian government in DSS solitary confinement? Number 4, are you aware of his deteriorating health conditions inside the DSS dungeon? The number 5, did Britain abandon Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because he is demanding for Biafra exit from Nigeria, or because he is a black Igbo man who happened to have British citizenship? The number 6, why is Britain insisting on Nigeria unity even when the amalgamation treaty has expired? Dear British High Commissioner, kindly inform your government that this generation of Biafrans is not ignorant about what we want. We wouldn't allow these who deceived our forefathers to deceive us also. It is not gonna happen, according to the writer. All the predicaments Igbo are facing in Nigeria today emanated from the British colonization and the continued duplicity. Therefore, we are warning Ohanaeze Igbo worldwide to desist from any partnership with the British government until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released unconditionally and Biafra referendum date is scheduled. The British government has the capability and diplomatic clout to make the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Biafra referendum possible, but have chosen otherwise. Whether Britain exercise that diplomatic clout in Nigeria or not, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Biafra will still be free in due time. Neither Ohanaeze Igbo nor any other Igbo organization is permitted to have any form of partnership with the British government until our request is met. Anyone or group that goes ahead to fraternize with the British government or her affiliates on whatsoever string gift called partnership will be considered a traitor and will be treated as such. This message is coming to us and to you and to me from Comrade Emma Powerful, Media and Publicity Secretary for IPOB in general. On a hearam, as if that one is not enough, make on a hear this one. Dutch King, he don't come out, and I wish every other European countries that participated in selling our people to slaves. The Dutch King have come out now to do what? To apologize and to give open a confession what happens and the role they played during the slavery. Make it hear them. Hear the headline. Dutch King William Alexander apologizes for nation's role in slavery. And I wish other ones will have this courage to do so. And I wish UK will also have the courage to come and confess of their dealings and shady dealings and their killings during those time of slavery and what they did or the part or the role they played in the Biafran genocidal war. In an unprecedented event, Dutch King William Alexander apologized for the Netherlands' historical involvement in the slave trade. He addressed the issue with great intensity, saying that he was personally and intensely affected. Thousands of descendants of slaves from Suriname and the Caribbean islands of Aruba, Bonaire, and Curaçao, gathered in Amsterdam to celebrate Ketikoti, or breaking the chains in Surinamese, marking 150 years since the abolition of slavery. Speaking to the cheering crowd, the king stated, "Today I am apologizing personally. I am intensely experiencing this with my heart and soul." Period to this, Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte had officially apologized on behalf of the government in December concerning this very matter. However, it remained uncertain whether the king would do the same for the royal family, with researchers suggest gained considerable wealth from the slave trade. Slave trading and slavery is recognized as a crime against humanity. The monarch and the rulers of the House of Orange took no steps against it, the king acknowledged. In his speech, which was broadcast live, King William Alexander asked for forgiveness for the crystal clear lack of action by his ancestors on the issue of the so-called slavery. In the lead-up to the ceremony, descendants of slaves had urged the king to use the occasion to issue an apology. Linda Neutmann, chairman of the National Institute of Dutch Slavery History and Legacy, stated, "This is important especially because of the Afro-Dutch community considers it important. It is important for processing the history of slavery," according to the news we have here. Make on the follow up because I told on I say today, despite today not Sunday, but it's gonna be fire for fire. Confusion, you don't therefore Imo market as a one woman, you don't go vanish with another person's 7-month-old baby. All happened in Imo State market. Many traders at the Amaraku weekly market in Ishalamba and local government area of the state were unsettled on Friday when a 7-month-old baby was reportedly abducted by a woman. Daily Post gathered that the baby girl was taken away by a woman who had only offered to assist the young mother in carrying her distressed child as she markets her goods. A few minutes after the unsuspecting mom relieved herself by giving her little daughter to a woman who offered to help, she vanished with the child into the tumultuous mob. Oh, wahala, no dey finish. A market source who pleaded anonymity said the baby mother, after giving the fleeing woman a wrapper so she could carry the child on her back, started shouting, "Where is my baby?" He said, "Today in an Amaraku market, I was purchasing some food items when a woman started yelling, 'My baby, where is my baby?' Because the baby was wailing and upsetting her while she was selling okra and other veggies. She had given her 7-month-old infant to a stranger after placing the infant on her back, and the stranger vanished into the mall. The woman began screaming and sobbing when she realized the woman was no longer in her sight. Other nearby traders had assisted with the hunt for the woman, but were unable to locate her, given that there were over 5,000 buyers and sellers present. Oh my goodness. It is possible that the woman was enchanted by the stranger because no responsible mother would release her child in such a setting. Of course, that's how it be now. Recall that a female neighbor in Imo State's Amato community abducted 4 children between the ages of 2 and 4 about a month ago. Both the neighbor's location and the children's whereabouts are still unknown at this moment. When contacted, the police public relations officer, PPRO, of the command, Henry Okoye, stated that he had yet to be briefed on the news at the time of this report was filled. We have been wasting the country's resource by training too many army generals, ex-A staff spokesperson. That is the truth. Oh. You waste money, you train them, finish, tomorrow you come back, you come out and say, oh, we have a new administration, and all those ones, all the whole money being wasted in training them becomes nothing, as them will be sacked by the new administration. Now, so Nigeria will take good. No, Nigeria can never be good. Former spokesman for the Nigerian Air Force Group, Captain Sadiq Shehu, retired, has said that it is abnormal for the military to retire over 100 major generals from the armed forces of Nigeria. Nigeria report that over 100 generals in the army, comprising major generals, brigadiers, generals, and some colonels, were recently told to proceed on retirement by the military authorities. Reacting to the development, Shehu said that the large number of generals has led to the difficulties in appointing service chiefs. The former Air Force spokesperson said this on Friday when he appeared as a guest on Arise TV from Kaduna. He lamented that the country is wasting its resources by training a large number of generals and later relieving them of their duties. Nigeria have generals that have never attended not even a single war, not even a victor or a vanquished, but they keep on answering generals in mouth. Shehu said the retirement is going to include the generals in the Army, Air Force, and the Navy. What is important is not the effect that this retirement will have on security, because we have enough generals. If these people go, they will be replaced. However, it is important to know that it is not normal for the military anywhere in the world to retire about 100 generals, and by my own estimate, we have close to 133 major generals in the Army, rear admirals in the Navy, and vice marshals in the Air Force that are leaving. We also have to remember that this is not the first time. When the last set of service chiefs retired in 2022, we had another batch of about 100 left. Who left, okay? The issue here is, when you look at the money that is spent on training these people, whether it is foreign courses or the ones here, the experience we are losing and the money we are wasting on these people, and then telling them to go is not good for the national economy. Speaking further, Shehu instituted that the problem lies with the military and the large numbers of major generals as it the services. On the individual level, I must put the premise that our president and commander-in-chief, according to the constitutional requirement in section 217, has the right to appoint service chiefs, and the constitution does not tie his hands that in appointing service chiefs. He must pick either the most senior or the middle senior or the most junior. It is completely within his right to do that. Anyone that will deliver, that is whom he will appoint to be his service chief. But President Bola Tinubu came and met about 350 major generals across the service. So to be honest with you, his work was not easy in picking his service chiefs. I think that's a problem that started long ago. We should not be having 350 major generals for the president to pick from. The service chiefs themselves or the superintendents in the Ministry of Defense approved that number he added, according to Shehu. On the other hand here, we have what they call says service chiefs must stop compulsory retirement. Abi? Yes, so he said service chiefs, you must stop compulsory retirement of military generals, Reno Omokri to Tinubu. Former presidential aide Reno Omokri has urged President Bola Tinubu to stop the compulsory retirement of military generals whenever junior officers emerge as service chiefs. Omokri opined that the country suffers great loss after spending millions of dollars in training the officers and later relieving them of their duties. He described the practice as a complete waste of money and human resources as well. Nigerians spend millions of dollars in training military generals only to retire them when their junior are appointed service chiefs. That is a just complete waste of money and human resources. Why? He questioned. Speaking further, Umokri recalled that General Domkat Bali was senior to General Babangida, but he served under him. Meritoriously, I might add, Brigadier Babafemi Ogundipe served under Lieutenant Colonel Gowen even more meritoriously. He argued that the practice was why the nation's military had been weak to combat terrorists. No wonder our military is so weakened to the extent that terrorists and bandits are flexing their muscles and taxing Nigerians while generally making life miserable for many of our citizens. Why not? When we keep purging our military of our most senior, trained and learned officers, he added, according to Reno Omokri. In his quest, Omokri emphasized that President Tinubu is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. For now, they should consider using that office and its power to put an end to this practice for the overall health of our military, according to Reno Omokri. In the other hand here, Tambua is telling Akpabio, he said, and I quote, the Guinean Senate Minority Leader issue group don't want Godswill Akpabio. A group under the urges of the People's Democratic Party PDP, Action 2023, has warned the Senate President Godswill Akpabio to steer clear of the minority leader issues. Nigeria in a deep shade. Speaking via a statement by its chairman, Honorable Dr. Rufus Umire, titled, Who is Afraid of Tambua? The group urged Akpabio to direct his attention to assisting President Bola Tinubu in the delivering sound legislation and policies to ensure good governance in the country. They warned those sponsoring attacks on the former governor of the Sokoto state, Aminu Tambua, to look within themselves first before pointing accusing fingers. Speaking further, Omire insisted that the news being peddled about Tambua betraying PDP and his colleagues is untrue. He opined that the former governor has shown himself to be a team player and a sophisticated leader. Ashe. The statement read in part, we counsel the newly elected president of the Senate not to allow people to destabilize the Senate by dabbling into the minority leader issue of the 10th Senate, but to concentrate instead on assisting President Tinubu to deliver sound legislation and good policies to ensure good governance in Nigeria at this critical period of change and renewal. They allege that he has once betrayed some people, and PDP behind these allegations is an attempt to litigate the 2022 PDP presidential primaries. They have constantly tried to pin on him the issue of betrayal of some of his friends because of the patriotic role he played during the PDP National Convention. We cannot hold brief for Tambua, but at the appropriate time, the relevant question would be asked: who betrayed who? Tambua has shown interest in the PDP presidential nomination long before some people suddenly appeared on the scenes and expected him to drop out for them, just because they believed that they had more financial resources than him. Whether they had better programs for Nigerians didn't matter, according to the writer. Tambua has shown himself to be a team player and a responsible and sophisticated leader with the bright ideas for the development of the Nigerian nation. He didn't betray the PDP or the nation in 8 years as Sokoto State Governor, according to the writer. This is for my Labour Party viewers, my subscribers, my lovers. This one, na for now. Ubidati campaigns exposes plot to tamper with RF issues, warning to INEC. The campaign manager of the Ubidati presidential campaign in the February 25, 2023 election, Oseloka H. Obaze, has warned the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC against tampering with the RF as it concerns the Federal Capital Territory FCT. Nigerians report that this was made known in a press statement on Saturday signed by the campaign spokesperson Dirin Onifade. According to Obaze, intelligence reaching the campaign office shows that INEC is allegedly trying to yield to pressure to tinker with the result of some states, including the FCT, to enable the ruling All Progressive Congress APC to be in good standing. He stated that their source revealed that INEC is tampering with the machines used in the election to adjust the FCT result to give APC candidate the much needed 25%, which he did not get as per the initial INEC declaration and for which he is being challenged at the Presidential Election Tribunal. It is not clear how the Electoral Commission can brazenly carry out such bizarre action, but given the abracadabra they did to announce the APC candidate winner by 4 a.m., there is nothing to be taken for granted, of course. Ohanaeze warned that INEC and the ruling APC may be taking the adherence to the rule of law and due process, the position of Nigerians in general and obedient movement in particular, for granted. He cautioned that INEC and APC will be causing catastrophe for them to want to pour salt into an open wound inflicted on the Nigerians' electorate. The former United Nations diplomat reminded INEC that what they are trying to do is tantamount to rising a dead horse, and that whether reports were fake or real, the Commission should know the level of public confidence in them has long been eroded. You are not a president of social media. Yomi Fabiyi sent warning to Mr. Latin. Popular Yoruba movie star Yomi Fabiyi has berated his colleague and president of the Theatre Arts and Motion Picture Producers Association of Nigeria, Bolaji Amusan, popularly known as Mr. Latin, over his recent remark on the veteran actors. This one is for entertainment, but let us give it to my people so that they will use this one to step down as we're about to round up. And then we recall that Mr. Latin had earlier stated that island and struggling actors demanding help are not members of the association. The gentleman explained that the actors don't ask Tampan for help because they know they are not active members, hence the group cannot assist them. Reacting to the veteran's submission, Fabiyi cautioned him against constantly responding by every news on the social media. He advised Mr. Latin to take his time before responding to trending issues to avoid making more mistakes on the matters. Yomi Fabiyi was, I am doing this broadcast to address the president of the Tampan, Mr. Latin, that is Bolaji Amusan. Mr. Latin, you are the president of Tampan, not a president of a professionals in that association. You aren't a president of social media, so whenever issues arise, I will appeal to you to take your time before you respond. I advised you long ago that you need special advisor on media so that things would pass through the person and there will be serious censorship. You are human. If your care isn't okay, if care isn't taken, you will make a mistake like the one you just did. Denying that actors seeking help aren't members of Tampan. I need to be honest with you. They are members of our great society and also great group. So my wonderful people, my viewers and subscribers, now here we will take back our kaya and I go with the go show. If you never subscribe to my channel, endeavor to do that as soon as possible. Make sure you turn on the notification button. Be notified each time we go live or post something on this channel or another channel related to Okute Daily Talk. Please make on enjoy on a Sunday. Don't drink when you drive or don't drive when you're drinking. Vice versa. Have a nice day. Madam Majisko Kiabama bless us all, the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Until I come your way again, I still remain Okute Daily Talk. Bye for now. Kemesiano.